Welcome to another episode of 10xMarketer podcast. If you're coming here for the first time, make sure you follow, subscribe on your favorite channel. We are available on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcast. Today we have Alejandro Morales with us. He's a seasoned SEO expert, and we are discussing a very important topic, that is how to stay authentic in the age
Of
of
course.
AI.
First of all, thank you for having me, Gilly. My name is Alejandro Morales. I'm a 10-year experienced marketer located in Guatemala, Central America. I do have experience working locally, but also in the US market with agencies, especially in the southeast of United States. Um, I'm passionate about AI, the use of AI, SEO, SEM, and a lot of exciting things. So very happy to be here.
Awesome. It is so great having you today. Let's start by the first question, which is very important for most of our users. So, according to you, what is the definition and the use cases for EEAT, that is experience, expertise, authority, and trust?
Yeah. So EAT is the framework that Google uses to evaluate the quality and the trustworthiness of your content.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So why this is important? Because it doesn't actually help you ranking. It is actually your content that helps you rank higher, but it's not a ranking factor. It's more like creating trust to users, and Google will take that into consideration to show your content more often. So it is a framework that evaluates your credibility.
Awesome, and that is so true. Now, the other follow up question to this is, let's say you have some EEAT is like four parameters. It's like experience, expertise, authority, and trust. So let's say you are the blogger, you are the person who is creating content for your business. How do you really make sure that you are following this framework and you are able to produce the content that fits into these parameters?
Okay, yeah. So first of all, uh, just to mention, Google penalizes uh, content that is not accurate, false information, deceiving content, stuff like that. So when you create content with AI, uh, it says in the documentation of Google that actually it appreciates good content. So by following some steps, I mean, if you go to any AI model and just ask the model to produce a blog post about X topic, it's probably going to create something very appealing, but not necessarily true. So you need to follow some steps in order to create good content that is reliable, that is authoritative, and that is actually something that adds value to your visitors. And that's how you must create the content with AI, following some parameters.
All right. So again, the question circle backs to the quality of the content. I understand the importance of quality, but the other factors which is very very important is experience and expertise of person who is creating the content. So how do you determine and how do you express that into your language maybe, or into your blog, so that it is visible to the user and also to the Google?
Okay, so first of all, when you create content with AI, in order to reflect this experience, this expertise, you must ground your model with information that is factual. So by adding data that is accurate, that you know is accurate, by providing it sources of information like government information, some statistics departments information, or or a manual for any product, stuff like that, you will create the basis in which the AI model is going to create the content. Followed by that, you need to set some parameters in order for the AI to have certain limitations. But to answer your question, the expertise and the experience on your content is basically going to be done by a human in the post grounding section. So, for example, after the AI creates this information, this content, an expert or someone that has like the experience should proofread this content and make sure that it's accurate. So the AI is going to give you creativity, is going to give you something appealing to read, is going to give you grammatical correctness, but the content that it produces needs to be proofread by someone that is an expert on the subject. That way, you're going to make sure that the information is true, that is reliable, that is trustworthy, and Google will appreciate that content in your website.
Awesome. So I think this answers the fundamental question about grounding. Now, if you have to go into detail about the grounding process, maybe if you can walk through the process step by step so that everyone understand what it means when you say grounding, and also what is the pre-grounding and post-grounding in AI.
Yeah. Okay. So, uh, in order to create, let's say, a blog post for a X company, X product, like I mentioned before, it has. I'm going to mention here three steps, three fundamental steps, which is the pre-grounding, setting the parameters, and the post-grounding. So in the pre-grounding, like I mentioned, you will feed the model with information about your product, statistics, any related information that you know is factual. For example, you must start feeding the AI model with information, and you would send a prompt like, uh, "I'm going to provide you with this information. Please summarize the information and let me know if you understand." You can add there a file, you can add an infographic, you can add some website URL, you can add any kind of information and ask the model to summarize it and acknowledge that it understands what you're feeding it. It will answer something like, "Yes, I do understand." It will give you a short summarize, and it will ask you, "What do you want me to do with it?" Okay. So after that, there's a lot of information on how to set up your prompts. But to give you a high level picture, you must provide the role that the AI should take. For example, in marketing, you should say something like, "I want you to act like an expert marketer with 10 years of experience in SEO," and that will cover the role. Then you will must provide the action. "I want you to produce a blog post uh, regarding this title and following these guidelines." Okay? That's the action. Then you must provide the context. You are a marketer that is planning to create an SEO article about, let's say, a schema and sitemap and stuff like that. Okay, you provide them the context, what it needs to produce it, what you're trying to achieve, and then you set the parameters. And this is the other step that I wanted to mention, which is very important. And we're going to mention three parameters that you must have in every prompt that you provide AI to produce content. So the first is temperature. Okay, the temperature goes in a parameter from zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.9. This controls the creativity of the model. We all know that it's not the same creating content for a science fiction website against a medical procedure website. So you must know your product in order to set these parameters. So for example, if you set the parameter to zero point 0.9, you're telling the AI to be as creative as it could. So probably it's going to hallucinate a little bit and create content out of the nowhere, you know? So if you're talking about a medical procedure, you might want to keep the temperature between zero point 0.2 and zero point 0.3. You don't want to set it to zero point 0.1 because you're going to limit the AI. So you must have a balance in the temperature in order to be creative, but at the same accurate. The next parameter, it's the top P. The top P goes from 0 to 1. So for example, you have a library. You have a library, you have 100 books that talks about AI. If you set that parameter to 1, you're telling it to use those 100 books. And if you're telling it to be on 0 0.1, you're telling it to use the 10% of those 100 books. So it's the same with tokens. And tokens, just to be clear, is words. So the top key controls the richness of the vocabulary that the AI is going to use. So it's going to pick the most probable word uh, from this bucket of tokens that you are going to take into consideration. And lastly, the top K parameter, which goes from 0 to 40, it controls the accuracy. The higher the number, the higher the setting, let's say 38, it's going to provide you with information that is the most accurate information that it gets. It will take it from your pre-grounding, it will take it from data, it will take it from its own knowledge, but it's going to keep the accuracy high. So we want to do that. So just to summarize, if you want to set parameters on a prompt, you would say, we all already talked about the action, produce a blog post, and use these parameters. And then you just type temperature equals zero point 0.3, top K equals 0, 0.5, top key equals 0. I'm sorry, 32. And next to it, you provide the outcome, what you want it to be. So you can tell by, I want you to divide the content on 3 paragraphs. I need you to use bullet points. I need you to produce statistics and the sources. It is very important to ask the model to provide the source. If it doesn't have the source, probably it's not going to give you some random information. It needs to have the source in order to provide the statistics. So it's a game where you put together all these dots and tell the AI to do exactly what you want it to do. So after that, it will produce the blog post more accurately, more reliable as it could. So basically, these steps will guarantee that you have valuable information. But then the post grounding needs to be done. For example, let's say we are marketers and we're talking about SEO. We've been on the market for a few years, we know our stuff, and we just want to AI to assist us with the engaging, appealing article about something that we're passionate about. So we give these all parameters. We give them all these uh, prompt engineering to the model. It produces the content, and it's not something that you want to copy paste and publish. It's something that you want to read, make sure it makes sense. One of the steps of post grounding is take a look at your source material, your statistics, your data. Make sure that it's that is correct. You must rely on your knowledge and expertise. We usually, when someone speaks to us and gives us misleading information, we notice. So you, as an expert, whatever your niche is, you must know when they're giving you fake information. So you must rely on your knowledge and expertise. Uh, you must go through fact check everything. For example, an information about Google new features, for example, you must go to the source and make sure that information is accurate. So basically, what you need to do is proofread everything that the AI produce in order to have content that is valuable, that is trustworthy, that is true, and that it's going to add value not only to your website but to your visitors. And Google would appreciate that kind of content, even if it's assisted by AI.
Great. So, other element that you frequently referred in this discussion so far is your authority. So, are there any parameter or a public information that helps us understand how Google decides the authority of a content or the publisher?
Well, it I'm not pretty sure how what framework it uses to evaluate the authority, but I know that it has to be with searches and engagement, and it has to be with some reviews. It has to do something with um, how popular your content is, the rankings that people that read your content. All these factors, how often it is searched in your webs and your and the browser, uh, the how many people share that content, the backlinks that you have. So it's all these SEO settings that will help you improve your authority score. And specifically, blog post is going to help you create content that the user will find valuable, and Google will translate that value that you give your visitors into the authority score and help you rank better in a medium to long term uh, basis.
Awesome. So, other aspect of this and the entire discussion we had so far is, and a part of it is scary also. So, what you are saying that if you are using AI and if you know how to use AI, if you can do grounding and the post grounding process well, then it is possible for you to maybe replicate somebody who has thousands of article quality and ranking already. Maybe if you can sit with AI, set up your framework well, you may be able to replicate or replace them in Google. Is that what you're suggesting?
Replace somebody else's content. You
No, no, replace somebody else search ranking with the content at scale. So let's say maybe one of your competitors who is already there in the market, they have been there for years, they have been working on the content very hard. Now comes AI and you start producing the content at scale. You are able to replicate all the blogs that they have, maybe provide better information that they have provided, and then uh, build the authority over period. And so is it possible to replace them in the search engine? Is that
this
what
is
you're
a
saying?
great this is a gray area because Google does penalize copying content or plagiarism. So if you using somebody else's content to produce your content, you have the risk that Google will detect that, or the author is going to set to claim that content as his, and probably you're going to be in trouble.
Okay,
What
let
if
me rephrase my question. So I'm
okay?
saying, let's say you are a publisher and you have been writing content for years. So and you are a well regarded authority in any domain, let's say in marketing. You are known for your quality content. Now comes AI, and I'm kind of new to the entire marketing phenomena, but I follow the same topic structure that you have been following for years. I take help from AI, and I produce the content at scale using the same topical framework, same kind of structure, and the website and everything else. Can I replace you in search engine using that strategy? Is that what you're suggesting?
Um, like I mentioned, it's a gray area. You need to
Okay,
be careful with what you're producing and what you're publishing.
all right.
In
And the
some
overall,
cases,
okay.
yes, go ahead.
So the overall process that we talked so far, what is the role of, let's say, backlinks into this? So you produce content, you have everything else. How the backlinks play a role into this?
Okay, so the backlinks, as we all know, uh, will direct you or will direct your article to or actually a web page or another article will direct to your content if it finds it's valuable. So, creating a good content article or blog post is probably going to help you create more backlinks in the future once your users identify that you are an expert on the topics that you're publishing. So eventually that will help you with your SEO as well. But it is something that you need to grow within time. It's not something that's going to happen from day to night. So overnight.
Understood. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So
So yeah, go ahead, please. Sorry.
yeah. So backlink building. It's not going to be any different than if you write it yourself or AI wrote it. So it's basically you need to build your backlink strategy. And what's going to help you is that the content is going to be very appealing, very engaging, and people will want to backlink your article to their material. So yeah.
Okay, so I think one topic that we left so far is what are the steps to review the content? You covered some part of it, but maybe if you can put that as a summary and concluding remark, how to review AI generated content.
Okay. First of all, you need to read it. Make sure that it makes sense. Uh, Something that is very important is that you don't want AI content to look like AI content. So we all know that when you ask the model to produce a copy for a post in Facebook, it will use words like enhance, boost, elevate, and stuff that you already know that is AI produced. So you must read your article and make sure and edit that the content has your messaging, your tone of voice, and you doesn't use those kind of words. Sometimes um, it's funny because I have found myself reading stuff that with some all kinds of words that I don't even know what they mean. So that proofreading needs to be done and edit in order to have a more humanized and natural language. So that's probably the first step, proofreading it. Then, if you go to data and statistics, like I mentioned before, look at the source material. Okay, so let's say the AAA in the US has some information about accidents in certain area, and you're talking about it. So go to the website and make sure that that information is correct. So if it mentions that 20% of the accidents in certain place it's because of alcohol, you must go and prove that that information is accurate according to a source that has the authority and can double check your information. So checking the data is very important as well. Facts. So AI can be like very creative and say, uh, I've been a website developer for 40 years, for example, and maybe I'm just 41. So that means I'm a marketer since I was one. So that's not factual. That's not true. So you need to prove that the facts that the AI is producing is actually true and is trustworthy. So, and then when I say that you must rely on your knowledge and expertise, so the AI content is something that you can edit, and you can enrich that AI content with your knowledge. For example, if we're talking about certain subject, and the AI has limited information and produce something that you can enrich with your experience, then go ahead and do it. It will humanize and enrich your AI content, and it'll you will produce better content that the AI already produced. So all these steps needs to be done in order to make sure that the AI content uh, meets the EEAT uh, framework that Google appreciates.
Awesome, Alejandro. I think this is a very valued information that you shared with us so far. Thank you so much for being with us. Look forward to have you again.
Yeah, it will be nice to talk about prompt engineering and go through the steps more in detail. So
Yeah,
looking
maybe
forward to be
we
here
can
again.
record a follow up episode on that. And I think this is a valuable information that everyone is looking for.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks. Take care.